What's up, everybody? What's up, MGTOW? So before I get into the video, I need to make a quick correction from my last video because someone did inform me that in fact cows can swim, and you learn something new every day, and basically pretty much all mammals can swim. So that's one correction that I need to make. But seeing that I was making an argument at the time, I'm going to replace that example of cows swimming or evolving to swim to frogs evolving to be able to do brain surgery. So hopefully that stands. Hopefully frogs can't do brain surgery, but if frogs can do brain surgery, let me know in the comments. All right, so on to the video. So in this video, I'd like to explore the concept of hot versus rich, and more specifically, looking at the idea of, can a woman be as attractive as a man can be rich? And it's just a kind of like a working theory that I've been working on, so I'm just kind of throwing it out there. Nothing's really set in stone as to my opinions on this topic. I'm just kind of looking at it in a general theoretical way and see if the theory even makes sense at all. You guys can let me know if it doesn't. But basically the reason why I'm doing it or exploring this topic is because I think it's a good kind of like auxiliary type of analysis to see what kind of value men bring to relationships in modern day. Because by comparing, the kind of the value of female attractiveness versus the value of male wealth, and showing that there might be some discrepancies in public opinion about which is more valuable, and just comparing the two, just to do it basically. So now, in general, it's pretty hard to compare apples to oranges, but you can, in some senses, compare certain categories. Like, for instance, both an apple and an orange are a fruit. And in that way, you could compare them against a vegetable. Or, you could compare the roundness, where you could say an orange is more round than an apple. So there are things that you can cross compare when you're, comparing apples to oranges. So we're going to kind of look at it in that sense and just kind of see where things lie. So first of all, just comparing, male physical attractiveness to female physical attractiveness, if you take the market theory kind of way of looking at it, then in general, an attractive male is more attractive than an attractive female, because, based on the market value theory, that, all value is subjective or relative. And the fact is that there are less attractive men to women than there are attractive women to men. So therefore, a physically attractive male is more rare, thereby making him more valuable based on market theory economics, because the more rare something is, the more valuable it is. So an attractive male in general is more valuable than an attractive female in the category of attractiveness. We're not talking about anything else, but just the category of attractiveness. So that's not really anything that interesting. We know that males have a higher sex drive, so therefore, in public opinion, it appears as if females are more attractive than males. And again, in a market theory sense, if males were a stock, males are more volatile. Like the males that are more attractive are more attractive than attractive females. The males that are less attractive are probably less attractive than the least attractive female. So that's how it kind of works with men. And women are kind of more like a government-backed security where, it's all right, you're not going to make a lot of profit, but, it's backed by guys with guns, so you're going to get something. So in any case, I will be doing more research and probably coming back to this topic in the future. So like I said, I'm just kind of laying out just a framework of what I'm thinking about to see if it even makes sense. But basically, the three kind of categories that I'm going to compare when looking at female attractiveness versus male wealth is first the interval in between each person. So, for example, how much richer is the world's richest man than the world's second richest man? And how much more attractive is the world's most attractive female than the world's second most attractive female? You see what I'm saying? So like the interval, you can compare the interval in between the people. So for example, at least in my theory, without even doing much research, I would say that male wealth is more of an exponential interval where, the top, 50 richest men in the world have more money than the top 90, or the rest of the 90% of men. Whereas, the world's most attractive women or woman is not, she is more attractive than 90% of the women, but she's not 90% more attractive than like she's not 90% more attractive than a woman that's like a 8 or a 9. She's only slightly more attractive than her, where like these top 50 men are so much more rich than everybody else that the gap in between them is ridiculous. Whereas like, if let's say you lined up, just 1,000 women of attractiveness going from the scale of 10 to 1. There would be a very slight gradation from, going from a 10 to a 9 to an 8 to a 7 to a 6 to a 5. You know what I'm saying? Whereas if you lined up 1,000 men and you took the world's richest man to the world's poorest man, the intervals in between those people would be huge gaps of like hundreds of thousands of dollars or millions and billions of dollars. So right there, you can kind of see that male wealth is the intervals between a wealthy man and a not wealthy man are much greater than the intervals in between an extremely attractive woman and a slightly attractive woman. So like I said, I'll do some more research on that, and I'll probably put together some math and some statistics and stuff, if that even makes sense. So like, let me know if that even makes sense in the first place. Now, another category that we can look at is the exchangeability, because if something has value, then it has an exchange value. So if you look at female beauty, it has an exchange value, but it's not the same type of exchange value that male wealth has. So let me give you another example. For instance, if a woman has, 10,000, maybe 100,000, maybe 1 million subscribers on Instagram, she can have 1 million subscribers. If all those guys she finds unattractive, 1 million men will never equal one Chad. So you see what I'm saying there? Like, she can have 1 million men following her, but if none of those men meet her standards, they won't ever equal, they're not going to equal one Chad. Whereas if a man has $1 million and he invests it wisely, he could have $100 million. So the exchange of wealth kind of gives some advantages over trying to exchange attractiveness or beauty, because you can't reproduce your own beauty. And if you did reproduce your own beauty, it would actually make it worth less. Whereas somebody that's wealthy can produce more wealth, and that'll just generate more wealth and more wealth, increasing their wealth. So again, wealth kind of seems to have an advantage over beauty in certain aspects of life. So in any case, you can kind of see where my theory is coming from. And like I said, I'll do some more research on certain things, but if it makes sense at all that, men do bring value to a relationship, and that in fact the wealth and whatever else that men are bringing into a relationship does have value, and in fact it might have more value than female beauty. Because I mean, we're looking at it from a market standpoint. You could look at it from a Marxist standpoint too, which, feminists love to do, is look at it from a Marxist point of view. But it's kind of stupid, because if you actually look at sexual reproduction through a Marxist viewpoint, then in fact men are the proletariat, men are the labor that's undervalued, and women own the factory. They're the capitalists, because they own the means of production. When you're talking about sexual reproduction, the means of production is the female uterus or the womb, because she's a womb man. So that's basically, they can't even use that theory against men because it's ridiculous. And the fact that nobody said that, in fact, women are the capitalists, because they're the ones that own the means of production in sexual reproduction, and they're the ones making extreme demands on labor and forcing labor to do all types of crazy stuff and not allowing labor to unionize and all this other stuff. That's what women do, because they're the ones that own the means of production in sexual reproduction. So in any case, we'll just stick to the market theory instead, because I think most people in a capitalist society think like that. So anyway, that was just it. Just wanted to throw those ideas out there real quick, see if anybody thinks they have any merit, or if they don't, let me know. Otherwise, have a good day and go MGTOW.